After moving across the country for my boyfriend, he admitted engagement wasn't a priority. You need to understand my last relationship changes how I see things. Now I'm jobless and questioning my future. Did I just uproot my life for empty promises? About 2 years ago, I now 27 years old and female, left my friends, family, and a job I enjoyed to move across the country to continue my relationship with my now 29-year-old male boyfriend. I am now reconsidering that decision and wondering if I want to continue down a path of uncertainty and unfulfilled promises. My situation is unfortunately a bit complicated and requires some context. I have been in a relationship with my current boyfriend for 4 years now. 2 years ago, he was offered a truly amazing job with a company he had wanted to work for his entire life. It is worth mentioning that it was a 1-year contract with a high likelihood of extension for about 2 years. My boyfriend was clear that he was not willing to give up this opportunity, nor would I have wanted him to, as it could very well lead to even better opportunities for him in the future. We discussed it and agreed that long distance was not really an option given the circumstances, as there was no real guarantee that he would be moving back in a year or longer. Since we had already been together for 2 years at that point, the longest I have ever been in a relationship, I felt comfortable making the leap and moving with him. So we moved, or rather he moved and I accompanied him. It was hard at first and still is, I will get to that later, but I eventually managed to find a new entry-level job in a field that I thought I could succeed in. Our relationship was and remains quite solid. We are both homebodies and prefer to spend time together with some occasional outings with small groups of friends. We are both more introverted, but I made more of an effort to go out and meet people in a new city. Fast forward to the present. I recently lost my job, and I am struggling to make sense of the last 2 years and why I moved here in the first place. About a week ago, we had a particularly difficult conversation regarding our relationship. Let us refer to it as the talk. I should clarify, I have always been upfront with my boyfriend about my expectations regarding our relationship. I began discussing engagement, rings, and related topics around the 2-year mark, and he even went as far as to buy a ring that I liked. However, he always stated that he was not planning on getting married anytime soon. He wanted to move back to our home state, closer to friends and family, and finish his master's thesis, etc. I suppose I kind of deceived myself into thinking he might be more open to or warm up to the idea of engagement, since it is not as high commitment, and it still indicates he intends to marry me in the future. Well, I was mistaken. Back in August of last year, he admitted that getting engaged was not a priority for him. I was beginning to have a hard time at work around that time and was also starting to worry about our long-term relationship plans, so I foolishly gave him an ultimatum: figure out how to prioritize our relationship or I would leave, essentially propose or it is over. The date we agreed upon came and went, and I did not stand my ground. I stayed with him. Essentially, I capitulated and agreed that it was wrong of me to have given him an ultimatum in the first place, which I still mostly agree with. When we had the talk, I emphasized how significant it was that I dropped everything to be with him, and how much it hurt that he did not perceive that as valuable or as a significant commitment in and of itself. He appeared somewhat shocked by my feelings, and initially tried to point out how supportive he has been of me out here by doing things like driving me around, listening to me vent about work, and cleaning the apartment. For context, I do not have a driver's license, but I have always been able to navigate cities just fine using public transportation and cycling. This honestly pushed me over the edge. I told him that at this point, marriage was not even on the table anymore, because I was unsure if I could trust him to not take every little thing he has ever done for me and use it against me when I brought valid concerns about our long-term compatibility. He has since apologized for bringing this up, but it illustrates where his mindset was prior to the talk. At that point, I expressed uncertainty about whether I even wanted marriage anymore, and he finally began discussing his own feelings. This is where I feel some context for my boyfriend's perspective is necessary. Before me, my boyfriend dated his first girlfriend for 5 years. They were engaged when they broke up. To be clear, I knew about this relationship as I was friends with him during that time. We met almost a decade ago now and have been friends ever since. I was there when it fell apart and supported him through the breakup, as I had experienced more than my fair share of difficult relationships by that point. This is where some may judge me. We got together 6 months after his first relationship ended. There was zero overlap, but still not much time to process things. He was the one who asked me out first, and I initially declined because I was concerned about jeopardizing an important friendship if we ever broke up. I eventually said yes, and we have been together ever since. During the talk, he mentioned that because he had been engaged before and it had not worked out, he no longer viewed engagement as special. This genuinely shocked me to my core, as it was the first time he had ever articulated that to me, knowing full well how I considered it an important step in our relationship, at least for me. That has been weighing on my mind lately, Just the idea that I could place all my hopes and dreams for the future onto one person, only for him to see it as just another repetition of his first relationship. The real kicker, this is not even his first time uprooting a woman he is dating and moving her with no support to an unfamiliar city. He did that with his last girlfriend as well, and that also ended poorly. Now I am looking for jobs in a state where I have no reason or intention of staying, without many prospects, and I am simply wondering how it has come to this point. I acknowledge that I have no one to blame but myself for making the initial decision and ignoring all the signs, but I truly wish my boyfriend had been honest with me about his feelings regarding marriage and engagement. It has reached a point where I am starting to have extremely dark thoughts about my future and my capabilities. I have lost a great deal of confidence in myself, both because I lost my job and because I have not been able to reconcile the plans I had for myself with where I am now. I have not yet made a decision to leave him, but it is becoming increasingly likely with each passing day since there is effectively nothing keeping me here aside from my boyfriend. Job hunting is highly stressful, as I still have expenses to cover. We have a joint account for shared costs like rent and groceries, to which we contribute proportionally, but we keep separate accounts aside from that. I do not feel comfortable accepting any financial support from him, as there is no guarantee that he will continue to support me, and I do not want to be dependent on him more than necessary. I have savings and an emergency fund in case I need to leave quickly for any reason. Ironically, I am usually a very independent person. I have a trip booked in a month to visit my sister back home. She believes I should leave him. To my boyfriend's credit, he has acknowledged that he needs to take responsibility for putting me in a somewhat precarious living situation with no real guarantee of long-term stability, and to confront his issues to prevent his past relationship from affecting our future. Since the talk, we have continued to discuss things. My boyfriend states he is committed to me in his own way. He wants to buy a house and live together when we move back to our home state, but that is more of a 3 to 5 year plan. I have informed him before that I am uncomfortable discussing the purchase of a house together if we are not married. I am honestly realizing I never fully understood what his plans were or are for us. We have both agreed that we do not have plans or desires to have children ever, so it is not like he is keeping me on hold as a future housewife or anything. I also do not know for sure if we can salvage our relationship. I have lost a lot of trust in him, but I am staying for now because I feel I need some source of stability. Call it sunk cost or the gambler's fallacy. I am just really hesitant to leave because that would effectively end a 4-year relationship with someone I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. However, I also acknowledge that I need to begin prioritizing what is best for me. My boyfriend has recognized that he has a pattern of being selfish in relationships, and even with a sample size of 2, it is hard not to see he has a point. When I mentioned the possibility of me leaving and returning to my home city, he expressed a desire for me to start being as selfish as he has been. I do not know what that means or how to interpret it. I guess that is all I can articulate for now. I do not want to entirely abandon hope for our relationship, but I would be lying if I said I did not think about how much easier it would have been for me if I had just stayed where I was 2 years ago. I simply need to find a way to move forward, if not for us, then for myself. In summary, my boyfriend finally admitted that he did not view taking the next steps, engagement, in our 4-year relationship as a priority, even after I moved across the country for him. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Story 2. My 19-year-old girlfriend went out with 7 guys while I slept, claiming it was a birthday outing. It's just friends, she said, but when I snooped her phone and found suspicious texts, she called me disgusting for not trusting her. Now I'm left questioning everything. Am I the bad guy? My girlfriend, 19, and I, 20, have been together for a year. She has been out with 7 guys and I expressed my disapproval. After a week, she went out again and claimed it was just for a birthday celebration. Last week, my girlfriend, who I have been with for over a year, attended a school dinner for Ramadan. Afterwards, she went to grab a sandwich with her friend and 2 male friends who she frequently hangs out with at school. Unexpectedly, 5 other guys joined them. I was sleeping at the time and was unaware that she planned to attend the dinner. She simply stated that she had forgotten about it. She mentioned that her friends had invited the other guys, all of whom are in the same class, but she referred to most of them as rude individuals. When I woke up, I felt angry because she was with them, but I chose not to express it. I remained calm because I did not want to come across as a jealous boyfriend. However, it was quite uncomfortable for me to discover that she had gone out without informing me, especially since it was with 7 other guys. Everyone got into their cars except for one guy who went with her. He often spends time with her, and she goes for coffee with him during breaks at school. Occasionally, she also drives him home. They went for a drive, stopped at a gas station to smoke cigarettes, take pictures, and enjoy themselves. In her class, there are approximately 15 boys and 5 girls, and I am generally okay with her hanging out with the boys because she has only one close female friend. The rest are not as appealing to me. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable when she is out with a large group that includes 5 or 6 guys, her friend, and herself. I have never said anything about it because I want to avoid being a jealous and controlling boyfriend. That night, I couldn't contain my feelings any longer and told her that I was not okay with her going out with them. She expressed confusion about my feelings, insisting that it was just a school dinner and that her outing was unplanned. She also stated that she would not mind me going out with other girls under similar circumstances, as she is not jealous at all. We talked about it and everything seemed fine afterward. This week she mentioned that one of her 2 male friends was having a birthday and that he would likely take her friend, and the other guy out. I have met both of these guys. One is quite heavyset, I am not judging him, just noting, and he is generally nice while the other guy is relaxed too. I was somewhat uneasy about this situation, but I did not voice my concerns. I am aware of how guys perceive girls, and I noticed that during a previous meeting the heavier guy seemed to be checking her out. He has a nickname for her that no one else uses, and she even referred to him by a unique nickname in front of me, which made me uncomfortable. I also saw a message she sent in their group chat where she offered to help with homework, and he replied with a kiss emoji. I cannot explain it well in English. 2 days ago, this heavier guy and her friend went to shop for a birthday present, and her friend messaged the group chat indicating that all the guys could come along and that they might drive around and grab something to eat later. I did not react at all to this. She said she was concerned because I hadn't reacted and was thinking about not going, hoping I wouldn't feel upset. I asked her where they would be going and who would be there, but she had no idea. I then asked her if she had made a decision, to which she replied that she had and that she would be going. I kindly asked how she reached that conclusion. She told me that he was a close friend and that she felt she couldn't skip it. After school she went home, got ready, and texted me that she was leaving. Her sister called and asked if I wanted to grab coffee. We are very close, and my girlfriend and I often hang out with her and her boyfriend, and I agreed. After about an hour and a half without a message from her, she sent a very brief text saying she had reached the location they chose. I didn't respond immediately as I was stunned. I felt devastated. She knew I would be mad about her going, yet she still went out. At that moment, I felt a surge of anger because I had no idea where she was or who she was with. After an hour, I finally responded, and she asked where I was and why I hadn't answered. When she got home, she was very relaxed and wanted to go to bed, but she was aware that I was upset, yet she did not mention it. I felt terrible. It seemed as if she didn't care how I was feeling. I initiated a conversation because I could tell she was reluctant to talk. She apologized and said she didn't want to miss her friend's birthday. I replied that she should have texted me because she knew I was uncomfortable with that situation. She said she wanted to, but I hadn't been available when she needed to reach out. When I inquired about her whereabouts over the past hour and a half, she revealed that she had picked up 2 guys and met up with the others at a gas station to give the birthday boy his present. They were there for about 15 minutes, but she wasn't able to text me. Afterward, they went to another gas station for the others to buy snuff and then headed to the cafe. I became frustrated because I told her it was over and insisted that I did not want to know about it now, as I had needed to be informed at the time. I accepted that she went out, but I expected her to keep me informed of her whereabouts, particularly since she knew how I felt and had been uncertain about who else would be there. She told me they had arrived and mentioned that another friend would drive to a meeting we had later. After an hour, I replied, and she asked me trivial questions about my evening. She never brought up her outing or my feelings about it. She expressed her regret, and we went to sleep. Today at the meeting, I picked up her phone and opened the group chat. When she noticed, she asked what I was doing, and I set the phone back down. I then asked who had been there, and she angrily showed me the group chat and said that everyone was included. I reiterated there was no need for her to be upset. She explained that she had gone to pick up 2 guys and then drove around to the cafe. She played pool with one guy who had a crush on her 2 years ago. Our friends were present, and she showed some pictures, including a few with her female friend and a muscular guy who was also there. She had previously mentioned that he was an awful person, which perplexed me as to why she would take pictures with him. After the meeting, we returned to my home and we lay on the bed together. She hugged me, but I was not really reciprocating the affection. I grabbed her phone again, which was near me, and reopened the group chat to check for other pictures involving her and the guys. After I put her phone back down, she became angry and insisted on leaving. I asked her what the issue was, and she said it was inappropriate for me to take her phone and inspect it, indicating that it was not my place to do so. She accused me of being rude because I waited for her to fall asleep before looking at her phone, though I was simply observing her. She insisted on leaving, and I let her go. I noticed she had forgotten her t-shirt, which we had picked up today for an event tomorrow. I called her to tell her to stop and that I would bring it to her. When I got into her car, I asked what had upset her. She replied that it was distasteful for me to check her phone and that she found it disgusting that I did not trust her. She even gave me her Instagram password because of my mistrust. A few months ago, she had logged into my phone and said it was acceptable for me to have her Instagram credentials, but I opted to delete her email and password because I genuinely trust her. I asked why she told me she wanted to sleep if she stayed up to send messages to the group chat afterward. She explained that it was only 5 minutes after she said that. The night she went to sleep, I sent her a message 6 minutes later, but she did not respond. I am uncertain about what to do. Am I in the wrong because of all this?